All right, this is our video for Friday, April 10th for Pre-AP Algebra 2. Our objective today is to review for our quiz 9.6. And so this week we took a quiz on adding and subtracting rational expressions. We've been working on solving the rational equation. So on your quiz today, you're going to have some that are just proportions, which was our first assignment. You're going to have some that were not proportions, and that was from our Wednesday's assignment. And then you're going to have at least one application from our assignment yesterday. So first thing I want you to do is to check your answers for your work. So if you want to pause this, I think you can see everything there. Just pause the video and check all of your work. Now I'm going to work a couple of these for you. So I wanted to start with number 27. And on 27, you have 7 over 2 equals 7x over 8 minus 4. And this is not a proportion. If it didn't have the minus 4, it would be a proportion. We could just cross multiply, but it has the minus 4. Think of the 4 as being over 1. So for 2, 8, and 1, the common denominator is 8. So I'm going to multiply each term in my equation by 8. Think of it as 8 over 1. So 2 goes into 8 4 times, and 4 times 7 is 28. 8 goes into 8 one time, and 1 times 7x is 7x. And 1 goes into 8 8 times, and 8 times 4 is 32. So I'm going to add 32 to my 28, and I am going to get 60. And I divide by 7, and my answer is 60 over 7, which is a strange answer, but we'll take it. It's definitely not going to cause this to be undefined, so it is not extraneous. And so that would be your answer. Now notice this was linear. Sometimes they're going to be quadratic, so just be prepared for that. All right, the next one that I wanted to work was number 33. So we have 4 over x minus 3, equals 2 over x plus 1 plus 16 over x squared minus 2x minus 3. So just as in every section for this chapter, we need to factor first. So we're going to have x minus 3 and x plus 1 as our factors. So our common denominator is x minus 3, x plus 1. So we are not trying to get the denominators to be the same. We are trying to get the denominators to cancel out. So we're going to multiply each term in our equation by x minus 3 and x plus 1. Let me write this a better way. So I'm taking 4 over x minus 3, and I'm going to multiply by x minus 3 and x plus 1 because that's the common denominator. The x minus 3's are going to cancel out, and that leaves 4 times x plus 1, which is 4x plus 4. Got my equal sign. I've got 2 over x plus 1. I want to multiply that by x minus 3 and x plus 1 over 1. The x plus 1's are going to cancel out, and that's going to leave 2 times x minus 3. When I distribute, I'm going to have 2x minus 6. For my last term, I have 16 over x minus 3 and x plus 2. Excuse me, why do I keep wanting to do 2 there? X plus 1. The entire denominator cancels out, and it leaves 16. Again, this is not a quadratic, but on your homework you had some that were quadratics. Some of them you had to use the quadratic formula. So make sure you remember how to do that. And we're going to subtract the 4 over. We're going to have negative 10 plus 16 is 6. And we end up with x equals 3. But when you go back and you check, when you put in 3, 3 minus 3 is 0, and you cannot divide by 0. This was the only answer you had, but it doesn't work. That means it's extraneous. So there is no solution to this particular problem. So I wanted you to see one of those. And I want to work one of the word problems for you. Let's go to number 13 on the reteach. So these are the ones that I did the video on yesterday. So for number 13, it says Quinn can refinish hardwood floors 4 times as fast as Jack. So Quinn is the fastest. So I'm going to let X be Quinn's time. And Jack, it takes him 4 times as long. So 4x would be Jack's time. All right, they can refinish 100 square feet of flooring, or they have to refinish 100 square feet of flooring. Working together, they can finish the job in 3 hours. How long would it take each of them working alone? So 100 square feet divided by x would be Quinn's work rate. 100 square feet divided by 4x would be Jack's work rate. But if they work together, they can get the 100 square feet done in 3 hours. So we have x, 4x, and 3. So the common denominator is 12x. So I'm going to multiply each piece of the fraction by 12x. So here the x's cancel out, and I have 1200. Here 4 goes into 12 3 times, and the x's cancel out, and so we're left with 300. And here 3 goes into 12 4 times, and 100 times 4x is 400x. So I have 1500 divided by 400. And so we're going to have 15 over 4 for x, and that would be 3 3/4 an hour, or 3.75. So Quinn is going to take 3.75 hours, and when you multiply that by the 4, then you end up with the 15 hours for Jack. All right, remember that Zoom takes place at 9:30, and I'll be glad to work any other problems that you have a question about, or to rework these if you need it. And I will open the quiz at 10 o'clock.